today we have the pleasure of having Charles Finfrock with us. He is a fraud and securities expert. Charles, how are you doing?
I am outstanding. How about yourself?
I am fantastic. Appreciate you being here. You were nice enough to join us at the Digital Fusion Summit and speak on our fraud and securities panel. So, you know, I've introduced you as the expert here, but if you could give our audience just a little bit of background about yourself, I think that would be really helpful.
Sure thing. I am a Navy veteran from way back. I spent 18 years after that with the CIA as an operations officer working overseas in a clandestine capacity. Left that in 2019, and I went and stood up the insider threat program at Tesla and managed their global information security investigations. And then for about the past 5 years, I've had my own small defense contracting company and private intelligence company where we provide privacy services, we provide fraud, scam, impersonation investigations, and enhanced due diligence for our clients.
So, give me like a common example of somebody that would come to you and look for a consult or your services.
Yeah, great question. So, our ideal client in a lot of ways. Well, two types. The first one, and what I got into the business was CEOs or people with a public persona that were trying to sell training, trying to sell services, trying to sell investment advice online, and would be subject to impersonation. So it would be, Charles Finrock, it'd be 27 exactly, 27 other people that had the same, using your face, your name, they'd even selling your material. And the whole thing was a scam and fraud. And so people would reach out to us and say, golly, Ned, what do I do about it? And I'd say, well, you call the right people. So we would investigate those impersonators. I don't necessarily get into all the ways that we did it, but we would use tools and techniques and tactics that we have from our previous lives. We would identify these people. We would collect information from them, their bank accounts, their crypto wallets, their websites, their scripts, the whole thing. And we would burn down their infrastructure. And you'd ask me how we do that. And I would say, depends. We work with law enforcement as appropriate, but most of these guys are overseas. And so we find ways through legal means to deplatform them and to get rid of this scammy infrastructure. And our ideal scenario, you may say, yeah, gosh, that sounds like whack-a-mole. I said, yeah, a little bit. But at the end of the day, until we're in the space, these guys will have that LinkedIn page, the Facebook page, the Telegram channel. They'll have a website. They'll have all these things. And so it'll look pretty good. By the time we're done, it is whack-a-mole, but we whack the mole and then we kick over the molehill. So the next time he shows up, he's just got a scammy Telegram channel, and that's a lot easier for your clientele to see. This probably isn't the guy I'm looking for. So that's one thing that we do. People who, and one of the things I love about crypto, we're actually able to show, hey, look, here's how much money is coming through his wallet. Here's how much sales you're losing or your potential clients are losing to scams and frauds perpetrated by these folks. So that's one.
Are you able to get a return of that capital of the client if it's still?
It is a galactic, it depends. If we can trace the crypto to a exchange that is willing to work and to seize or freeze the money and reverse it, great. But as these guys aren't silly. And as soon as they get that money out of your wallet into theirs, it's oftentimes daisy chaining on through several pass-throughs and it's gone.
Yeah, they're sophisticated. They know what they're doing, unfortunately.
And we have great conversations with these guys. And again, it's in using a variety of different guises. And they're interesting fellows, interesting folks. They look at it like a job. It's not personal, it's just business. And that's how they feed their families, and that's how they live. And they look at us like we're, rich, dumb Americans, and they have no compunction against taking our money.
Oh. Well, that's fuck you. They can.
Yeah. Well,
So what's the other client? So normally.
So that's the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah. The second one, you guys have probably seen now, and they have these really nice terms like, wrench attacks. People that are high net worth crypto holders that have exposed that have said, hey, I've got a lot of money in crypto, whether it's real or not. That's the worst part. But the reason why they call a wrench attack, this used to be rare. Unfortunately, it's not. Not a week goes by that we haven't seen another one where physically in real life, people are kidnapped. People are kidnapped and they are pressured and forced into disclosing their private keys and transferring crypto to the criminals. And, People lose fingers. People lose. I think I was reading a whole series of them yesterday. A guy that was found dismembered in a suitcase. And so what we do, obviously we don't do that. What we do, we help people who have significant holdings in crypto understand their risk, understand their threats. Can we, as a non-affiliated actor, find their crypto? Can I know how much you really have? And if I can, then I'm probably not the only person that can do it. So what we'll do, we'll help them identify where their crypto holdings are that are publicly findable. And then the other thing we'll do comprehensive online risk evaluations where we'll say, listen, here's what your private security looks like. Maybe you're an influencer, right? Maybe you have to have a shingle out, but you don't have to have your home address findable. You don't have to have the interior floor plan of your house that was listed on Zillow 4 years ago still available. And we help people identify their vulnerabilities and reduce them to the extent they can. And again, we can't make people impenetrable, but we can make them a much harder target so that the external threat actors will go down the street and find somebody else.
Well, it's similar to like the trust structures we set up for people. If you were in somebody and you have your stuff in an asset protection trust and it's seasoned in and somebody goes to look at that, they're gonna be like, the lawyer's gonna tell them, look, it cost you $2 to $5 million. It's gonna take 2 or 3 years for you to come after this person. You're probably still not gonna get anything. Do you want to do it?
Yep.
Probably not. Just go look for an easier target, like you said, you know.
And that's why I feel like the services that you offer are so valuable. It's that litigatory deterrence. As soon as you look at somebody and you say, "Oh man, they're appropriately protected," well, Johnny Slip and Fall is going to move to the next person to have frivolous lawsuits against. And I would say same thing. Look, when we talk about custodianship of tokens, the easiest way to say, "Please don't cut off my fingers," I don't have access to my coin. I don't have coin. I don't have a hardware wallet. I don't have a software wallet. I'm using a professional custodian service that is taking care of all of this. Couldn't give it to you even if we wanted to.
All right, you can call us up. We have things in place to make sure that we're checking on stuff.
Yep.
I'm not going to be able to do that. So yeah, I'm actually building in some security around that today. That I think will be kind of like a panic word, safe word, right? That you can use. So anyway, just different things like that to be able to mitigate risk and make sure people are set up. So when you do one of these analyses of either one of those candidates, like what are you looking through? I know you mentioned some specific things about their stuff on Zillow or other ways that they could have exposure online. Do you go back and like erase some of that stuff for people, or
So we do. Yeah, and there are privacy services out there. Look, for John Q. Public or Joe Sixpack, there are privacy services out there where you can pay a few bucks and they will help remove your information from aggregator sites. Well, that's great. And like everything else, I can go to H&R Block and get my taxes done, or I could go to a professional that is appropriate to, spend a little money and take care of myself. So we are of the latter variety where we'll go in and if we find information, we're going to do a handful of things, including we're going to talk to Google and we're going to blur your house. We're going to go to Zillow and Redfin and all these places. We're going to get those photographs taken down. If you have articles about you that would disclose information that you don't want to be found, we're going to use some services and we're going to get those de-indexed. Can't make things disappear from the internet, but we can make it a lot harder for people to be able to find them. We break the breadcrumbs that drops it into the deep web, not the surface web for folks that know all that stuff. On the other side, when we're doing the impersonation investigations, these are a lot of fun because all I'm doing, I'm taking your name and I'm taking your face and I'm going to run searches and I'm going to see everyone out there who's using your name. And then I'm going to take your face and I'm going to run your face and everyone who's using your face and has other sites set up that are using derivations of your name or derivations of your company name or something like that to try to scam people. And these are my favorite reports and the easiest sales for me usually when I come and I brief you and I said, hey, it took about 15 minutes and here's 37 people with the screenshots that are using your name and your face, your name, image, and likeness if we were the NCAA, that are using your name, image, and likeness to scam your potential clients. And even if they're not scamming your clients, they're introducing friction into the sales process and making people stop and say, wait, is this the real Jay Claver? Is this the real guy? I don't know.
every day, brother. We delete report about 20 of them a day on almost every social media site. So you didn't even have to talk after this.
Well,
Um,
so I'll tell you the interesting thing, and that is absolutely a way to do it. Social media sites, unfortunately, and again, I've got friends that work for social media sites, love them too much. It's business. I get it. But unless it's a clear violation of terms of service, they're going to be really reluctant to deplatform people. And so what we and one of the things that we bring to the table is that enhanced investigation where we actually get the person talking to say, no, 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 I really am this person. So that when we go with the entire package, with all the screenshots and all that thing to the social media site with our letter from our client that says we're operating on behalf of this person, and this person who claims to be him is not him, it's easier for us to get these guys deplatformed.
that's awesome. I have a lot of people in the XRP community that are influencers or leaders that I think could use your services. Um, but people,
And honestly, it's a lot of fun. It's interesting. I mean, if you like people and you're interested in just smart people that have clever ideas, we all wish that these people were actually taking their intelligence and taking their time and doing something constructively, but if that's just not the
you
way,
make a lot of money,
not the world.
right? Like if you're this intelligent and you're able to run this level of a scam, if you applied that to something constructive, you could provide a lot of value in society. I don't know.
I think about that all the time. These people have these really sophisticated rug pull scams and really sophisticated, multi-layered scam infrastructure. I'm like, you know what? Or you could just create a product or service that's useful for the world and give that a shot.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I'm glad we have people like you that can help people out in this regard. When you're doing a securities audit, can you walk through some of like the infrastructure, the exposures you see for people? Um, Maybe they don't have two-factor authentication on. They're not using a biometric or a multi-sig on things. Do you recommend a YubiKey? Like, what are some of the
Mhm.
measures there that people could be taking?
I like how you're thinking because you're already on second base. Usually when we start, we step it back. Social media, awesome. Make it private.
Hmm.
Don't post your friends. Don't post your photographs. Don't post your check-ins. Just make your social media site private. Of all the things, and then if your social media is private, God bless our family. But please, for the love of God, talk to your wife, talk to your husband, talk to your kids, talk to your mom, talk to your dad. Make it private because it was funny. I was just on a call. Oh, I don't know, a few minutes ago. I was talking with a group that I do some pro bono work on counter human trafficking. And we talked just about that, and we talked about how some criminals are sophisticated. Well, they have the same vulnerabilities that we do. And if I can't get after you, boy, if I find your wife or your mom or your dad or somebody like that, I can backdoor in to your entire network. Right. So that's one. Two, just being smart about what you share online. Three, being smart about how you describe what you're into. It's awesome, man. We all, hey, Wind Moon, and we're all in for the Lambo, all the good stuff. Um, but at a certain point, you are the shiniest fish in the ocean, and you're gonna get eaten. And the worst part is maybe you don't even really have all the wealth that you portray.
Right.
You're still gonna lose a digit. Because if I'm in for a penny, I'm in for your 5,000, not your 500,000 that you claim to have. Really doesn't matter at that point.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
it's interesting to me. I'll say this. Just I have a lot of interactions with people on social media, right? We
Yep.
have a large presence. I think we have like almost 300,000 followers across
Wow.
different social media platforms. Um, the people that are often the loudest have the least, and the people that are in the back that do not say anything, do not raise their hand, do not show up, they're the ones that have larger amounts of money. So just I don't know if that's something to do with like ego or personality or maybe even their ability to garner wealth. Um, but for sure to protect it, I can tell you the majority of the people that do hold larger amounts, they are not public facing. If they do have some type of photo on there, it's probably not them, or it's like some obscure shot of them where they don't have their face on social media. Um, they've already thought through some of this stuff. So I think it's really good and timely that you're bringing this up because I think we're on the precipice of another bull run here for utility driven assets in crypto.
Mhm.
And I think a lot of people may want your services on the other side of that. I can almost guarantee that we're going to have a client base that they're gonna be like, hey, can you make me a ghost online? And we're going to need somebody to do that. So
And it's interesting. I think some of our more interesting clients are ones that have already taken their own steps to hide and to obfuscate. And even for those, we'll do a checkup. We just had a client 2 weeks ago who said, "Hey, man, I'm really privacy focused. I just want a second set of eyes on my situation." Usually, when people tell me that, I'm like, "All right, we'll see."
yeah,
This guy was actually really good. We finally got to one of his wallets, but it took a while, and we had to go at it a circuitous route. But that guy's probably, for most threat actors, is going to be good. But you're absolutely right. That inverse proportion between posturing and positioning, right? The bigger posture, the less positioning, and but I think for us, the challenge: how do you get the word out? How do you spread and build your brand? How do you tell people about services that they really should have in a way that is still discreet and private and appropriate? And I know for me, I just said when I introduced myself, I said more things about myself in the last 2 years than I have in the last 25 years. And it's still, I cringe when I talk a little bit about some of the things I've done. But
well, yeah, you want to maintain privacy, and the wealthier you are, the more you probably want to maintain that anonymity and privacy. We do a lot on the way that we file things to make sure that people maintain that, but it's all for naught if you're just out there on social media blabbing and posting and exposing yourself in other ways. So,
yeah.
uh,
And I would say too, even, the services you provide are so important. As people are emergingly wealthy, they need to start thinking about these kind of things, because oftentimes when you've made it and you finally are starting to think about some of these things, sometimes it's too late. And so as you're emerging with that, you've got nice AUM that you're attractive for people like you, or you can afford the services, take that extra money and build that in. Legal protection, privacy protection, custodianship, all those things, I think, in appropriate legal structuring, so important to think about at the beginning. And it's too late at the end. Trying to put all that toothpaste back in the tube is really, really complicated.
for sure. Yeah. Well, so you mentioned, you're not for like the average Joe. Uh,
Mhm.
can you talk about price points? Is it bespoke based on the situation? Maybe there's like a range that you tend to work within.
It's generally bespoke based on the situation and based on the prominence of somebody. I mean, we've got some fixed pricing, but as much as I like to say, we're fairly fixed, I'm also pretty flexible. I'm a horrible businessman. If you come to me with a compelling use case and you say, "Golly, Ned, I've only got X or Y,"
Yeah.
I'm probably going to help you out, but at the same time,
Well, you still gotta make money and run a business, and yeah,
that's it. That's it. I've got employees, we've got overhead, we've got all that kind of stuff. We have tools. One of the things that makes us so good, look, we have a lot of experience. I've got guys on my team. We spent 20 years hunting terrorists. I've got guys with skills that know what they're doing. But the thing that we bring to bear too, I don't spare expense on tools. So when it comes to facial recognition, when it comes to mobile ad ID, or different ways that we can pull different streams of information to either make us more effective or more efficient, I spend the money on it. And that's part of the reason why, if you want to, drive a Mercedes, you drive a Mercedes. You want to drive a Hyundai, drive a Hyundai. It's fine. Either one's fine. Get you where you're going, but it's going to be different experiences.
for sure. Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think this has been great. Like I said, I definitely want to have some conversations with you on the other side of this. But for people that are interested, if they want to reach out directly to you, what's the best way to get in contact?
Yeah. I'll just tell you right up front, my email address is Charles at vcci.io, Victor Charlie Charlie India Oscar. If you want to look at our website, it's, www.vcci.io. My website doesn't say a lot.
Probably not.
It kind of says we're dudes and we do stuff. And if you're looking for dudes who do stuff, then you probably can read between the lines. And we've got a contact us page, and we'll follow up and have a conversation with you, probably on Signal. Uh, and and what we like to do is have a good conversation with someone about, what are your problem points? And I spend almost as much time disqualifying potential clients as I do qualifying them. Because, if there's an easier, simpler, cheaper, more appropriate tool, or somebody better, I'll send you that direction.
100%. We're the same way.
Yeah.
Yeah. We just want to do what's in the client's interest, make sure that they get taken care of. And if there's some synergy or benefit, now or later, awesome. But at the end of the day, we're here to provide value and take care of people. Right.
That's it, man. Zig Ziglar. You can have everything you want in life by helping enough other people get what they want in life.
Love it.
Mindset of abundance and all that.
Yep. You and me resonate on a lot of levels.
Love it.
This has been awesome, man. Thank you so much for coming on. We'll have the links down here below for anybody that wants to reach out to you and take care of some of the problems that they might have or utilize your services. Any final messages you want to leave the audience with?
No, I think, look, crypto's an exciting space. It's a lot. I think we're finally getting a lot of regulatory clarity that we haven't had for a while. And as more people come into the space, I think it's going to be easier for us. But it's still wild westy. I wish I didn't have to exist, but we do at this point. And if you get jammed up, call somebody, ask for help. There's nothing wrong with that. I think everybody in my life has been subject to a scam at one point or another, as everyone is these days. And so, if you're in a hole, stop digging, stop and ask somebody for help, and ask your network. Guys like Jake and myself, just ask. We'll refer you around. We'll help you out. We're all there to help grow the community, and yeah, we're all in it together. Unless you're on the other side, and then yeah,
Cool. 100%. Well, thanks again for being here. Appreciate everybody for watching, and we will see you guys on the next one.